Howdy doody campers, Campfacer here. Today's video are my predictions and theories on how Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, is going to start a match. And we're also going to dive into some history of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original film. Let's get started.
Campfacer.
So before we get into the video today, I want to do a big shout out to all my camp members that directly support this channel. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys know who you are. If you guys are looking to help support the channel, I will put a link down in the description below. There you get to unlock exclusive member-only videos and much more. I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you. I also want to say from here on out, anything new that's coming to this game, updates, news, anything, this is the channel to come to, you guys, so make sure to click notifications to also you don't miss a video in the future. So today's video, before we get into my theories on the game, how it's going to start a match, again, these are just theories, predictions, we don't know the actual gameplay yet. Let me just start off by saying I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, but not as big of a fan as I am of Friday the 13th and other slasher movies. Let me just clarify that. That being said, when I grew up, I grew up watching, the first one I saw was Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, which was awesome. It was more comical, but brutal, and it was just awesome. A lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it. So I picked up the collector edition of that, and a few months before this game was announced, I picked up a steel book collector edition of the original film. And I'm not gonna lie, I have not seen this movie in over a year. It's been quite some time. So last night I was going to watch it, but my kids were awake. So this morning when they went to school, my wife and I decided to let's rewatch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now let me just say, this film is very disturbing. It makes you feel so uneasy. Putting your mind in the shoes of the victims in this. The way it was shot, the sounds, the vibe, the tone, such an eerie tone to this film. And I loved it again after seeing it so many times. Again, after a year, I haven't seen it in a year. I loved it. Now, this time around, let me just say, when I rewatched it, I was doing my homework, trying to compare to like what could be in the game that's in this film. So I studied every single little thing. For the most part, I kept on pausing it, and I thought to myself, But before we get into what my predictions of the game are for how the game would start compared to this film, let me just go over quick to the new fans out there that don't know this movie. If you've never seen this movie, or even if you haven't seen it in a long time, just a quick little refresh about this film. Now, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a film based on true events. Some people argue out there that it's nothing to do with true events and never really happened. Now, a lot of it didn't happen, but most of it did. That is a fact. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based after true events of a real-life notorious butcher and killer of all time from the 1960s and 70s. His name was Ed Gein, Edward Theodore Gein. He was born in August 27th, 1906, and passed away in July 26, 1984. Ed Gein was from Plainfield, Wisconsin. Now, Ed Gein was actually only convicted of 2 murders, but what he was famous for was the obsession of digging up females from graves and using their skin and bones, mostly because Ed, growing up, was obsessed with his mother, and when she was the last in his family to pass away, he wanted to have his mother with him, and when he went to dig up his mother's grave, he couldn't because it was encased with cement, because where she was buried, the soil was so loose that cemetery used cement coffins, cement containers to put the coffins in so they didn't get crushed by the sand. So what he did was he went to another graveyard where he'd look at the newspaper and recent females that would pass away while they were still fresh. He'd go at night and dig up the graves and bring the bodies back to his house, and he would skin them. He'd use the bones for decorations. He would use lampshade skin for lampshades, and so on. And of course, he'd cut off the faces and wear them like it was his mother, and that's why he would put makeup on. So a lot of this stuff is in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the movie. Obviously, the movie borrowed a lot of the stuff that Ed Gein did, but added to it. Ed Gein didn't run around with a chainsaw, killing everybody in his path like Leatherface. Obviously, Leatherface is based after Ed Gein, so there's some facts there. That's why this it says based after true events. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's set back in 1974. It's 5 teens that set off to check on their relative's grave that was recently vandalized. And while they're there, one of their friends, his father's old abandoned house is down the road from there. So they go there in their van, and they're low on gas. They're hanging out. The gas station didn't have gas that they stopped at on the way there. So while they're at the father's abandoned house, they went off looking for a neighbor through the woods, and they saw for gas. Possibly that person had gas. One thing led to another, and I don't want to spoil too much. But basically, that's how it all unfolds, and you can only use your imagination what happens next. So that's all I'm going to say, and I highly recommend go watch this. Okay, you guys? So let's get into the ideas compared to the film. My prediction after watching this were... because I forgot a lot, you know? When the match starts, I want to say that 2 people from the lobby of the survivors... I don't know how many survivors we're going to get in the actual game, you guys, but my prediction are 2 people randomized. Every time you load in, you don't know who these 2 people are going to be. They get pulled from the lobby. When the game starts, they get pulled and thrown into the Sawyer's house. One on a hook and one inside the freezer. Maybe. Or maybe tied up. Who knows? There's 2 victims are going to be put into the Sawyer's house, or you could call them the Slaughter's house. They're trapped. They're stuck. They're not dead. Maybe they're wounded. They're not dead. Maybe they're wounded and tied up, but they're not dead. And the object of the game maybe is the rest of the survivors are surrounding the van that's out of gas. They need to find gas, and they need to go rescue their friends. So not only are you out of gas and you have to find gas to fill up your van to get out, you also have to go in and rescue your friends from the Sawyer house. Maybe there's different things that also you have to find to get out. But the main key thing are your friends and the gas. And again, maybe you have to find car keys or something like that. I'm not sure if it's going to be played like Friday the 13th again, but these are just my ideas. Because that's basically what happens in this film. You know, they're out of gas, or they're very low on gas, and they don't know when they're going to run out of gas, but they know they're that low that they have to find more gas, because they don't know if that gas station down the road is going to have any more gas, because the guy that runs the gas station, Drayton, he's one of the Sawyers, he either was lying to them that he didn't have gas, or they were out of gas. But so they have to find their 2 friends that aren't coming back. They're missing. Where'd they go? Obviously, if you've seen the movie, you're going to know in the game where to go to the house. But then you have to encounter Leatherface. And then the hitchhiker is floating around somewhere. He could be walking down the road or sneaking up on you. And then you have the cook, Drayton. He could be either at the gas station still, or he could be driving back to the main house. So that's my prediction on that. And I also wanted to say, I noticed there was a generator outside the Sawyer house that had a main extension cord, and the generator was what was keeping the house electricity on. So I don't know if that's going to take part in the game as well. Can you shut off the generator? Can one of the Sawyers shut the power off to the generator, so now it's dark in there and you can't see anything? Now, let's just say you go back to the main house and you get your friends, one of them off the hook, and untie the other friend, or unlock the freezer, get your friend out before they suffocate and whatever. Now let's just say they're injured too as well. So now you gotta escort them off. Maybe they're injured. Maybe even before you get to your friends to save them, if you're one of the victims on a hook or in the freezer or tied up somewhere, maybe you have a chance to escape as well. So you don't even have to wait for your friends. Maybe so, but if you do escape, maybe you're injured so bad that you still need help, and it's going to take so long to get back to like wherever the van is. Maybe the van spawns in different places on the map, and you don't know where the van is to even get to it. So there might be a big communication thing there. Uh, those are just some of my ideas that I just thought about again after watching this. I thought they were really fun predictions because I saw it again. I'm like, wait a minute. That makes sense. Why wouldn't the game start where there's already trouble? Because otherwise, if all the survivors are together, why would they want to go to the house? What would make them want to go to the house unless over gas? But it would make more sense if there was two survivors that were captured already from Leatherface. Now everyone's gonna go and get their friends, and if you don't, maybe you lose a match. And obviously you're going to lose if you don't have enough gas to get away, and you're going to get caught by the Sawyer family. Other than that, I don't really know what else could take play, how the match would start. But that just makes a lot of sense to me, and I wonder what you guys think of this idea. And after watching this, if there was anything else I was missing, Drayton the cook did admit in the movie, he said, I don't have it in me to kill. I'm not a killer, I'm a cook. So maybe if you become him in the game, maybe you don't get to kill anybody. Maybe your job is to you can hit them and stun them and put them on the ground and injure them, and then tie them up and put a bag over their head and throw them in the truck and drive them back to Leatherface. And the hitchhiker, maybe you can injure them as well, but maybe you can't kill them as a hitchhiker. I know I already talked about this before, but, this was kind of like my buddy Laughing on YouTube. His idea was maybe the Sawyers work as a team, but maybe Leatherface is the only one that can actually kill somebody. Or maybe you can kill the other players with the other Sawyer family members, but if you do, maybe you lose a lot of XP, or maybe you lose the match for accidentally killing them. Because maybe you could injure them, but if you injure them too much, it'll kill them. And that's not what you're supposed to do. So, but these are just ideas again. I cannot wait for Gun Interactive to come out with a trailer or an announcement and explain this is how the game mechanic works. This is the object of the game. Till that day, we're going to keep talking ideas like this because it's a lot of fun. I want to know what you guys think about these ideas and predictions. Do you have any other ideas in mind? If you do, leave a comment down below. What do you guys think is going to happen when this game starts up? But that's all we have for today. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a like. Please subscribe if you have not already. And share this video, share my channel, because I'm looking to get some more fans here. We need to build this channel up, you guys. Until next time, campers, stay out of the woods.